This is Justin AMZN for Thursday, October 24th, 2019. I'm taking a look at just Wednesday and Thursday on the 5-minute, and I don't have the very end of the day because you can start to see where the moving averages move to follow the price action after close. So I'm just showing up to like 250, 255, something like that. I think just 250 because the 255 candle, yeah, then the next little bit before you can see the next candle shows where the moving averages go. Anyway, I just wanted to focus on where things went today and just kind of, how you could have looked at the move. So we had some lower highs and higher lows from yesterday. And so that puts our apex right here. That's where we closed. And then today, if I could draw straight, man, I was doing so good. There we go. We got a breakout from this triangle, opening up here, a pretty quick move down and up, and then a second retracement down, and then a breakout. And I know that's a lot of squiggles. Let me clean this up a little bit. The focus is really this apex, this level, apex of the triangle. Okay, so you got that, you got this level, and we're above it. All of this is above it. So we're breaking out of this triangle. I know it's, I'm not looking at anything more. I've got the rest of the little triangle, from the line from the upper end of a triangle, flag sort of thing over here, so, we get the other downtrend line of that channel down here. I'm just kind of ignoring all that, or at least kind of framing how things opened up just in the context of yesterday. And so this is a really large lower wick. There's a lot of people getting out probably before earnings. Let's see. I got to get out of the drawing mode to see the volume. Okay. Is it out of the drawing mode? There we go. There's the cursor. Okay. Volume here in the opening candle was 103,000. Volume yesterday, opening candle, 95,000. So a little bit more, but I just can't see where the volume gets up to. Anyway, this isn't quite a hammer. It's definitely a candle with, it's a bearish candle, but it shows a lot of buying with a lower wick. And we get some lower wicks here, which is interesting because this is some bears going bearish right here below these bullish candles, and it doesn't go anywhere. We have 15-20 minutes of just going sideways, so stair stepping here right on the last pivot we had from yesterday, and then we're contending with the high from yesterday right up here, where we're actually poking through that just slightly. We're below the 21, so the 21 is acting as a resistance, and we've got a squeeze going. And so all of a sudden then it starts to, you get a little candle, a little move up, and okay, we're right back here at resistance and breakout. What are we doing in breakout? Well, after this many bullish candles and a breakout, it pulls back. So you could have even waited to this candle at 9:30. Didn't have to get in right as it opened. Didn't have to be staring at your chart. You could have just set an alert saying, okay, I want to know when we break out above this, and then I'll set up the trade to get in on a pullback. And that's it. And just ride that up. We've been in this range for a little while. The middle of the range is about 1780. 1781, I think, is the value. Between 1747 and 1815. So it's 1781, and that's the next target. We actually run right up till almost 1780. We almost get to 1781. It's 1780 and 70 cents on this candle. Have a little flag here, and then continue up. And when we start making these smaller candles with the high wave candle, large wicks, above and below, even here, there's some wicks in here, but there's still some buying. Even this candle, we got the wick, but there's buying. So, you can get your stop moved up, after 20 minutes of this, and it's just been on this tear higher. Maybe get your stop right below it or below the last strong bullish candle, but this candle really looks like some exhaustion volume, much higher than the rest. This is people buying, thinking, I missed it. I got to get into this. It's going to have a great earnings. It's going to run without me. That's the idea here. That's what people are thinking here. And so what do? Well, we roll over quickly and come right back down, put in a great hammer. This is an amazing hammer. It just didn't come in right at like a clear level of support. It's just a good price, 1775, right in here, that we're straddling that price, and then we bounce again. And so there were some more people getting in here, and it worked for a little while, which is fine. It just couldn't take out this large bearish candle here and roll back down. This candle trapped some more bears because they were getting in bearish on a breakdown here with a little bit of a triangle, taking out this low, people thinking, okay, it's going to go, and then that bounces. So there's definitely some traps today, traps up here, traps down here. And this was actually a really nice bounce because it bounced right off of the highs from earlier in the day. I mean, not right off of it, but close enough, close enough on a $1,770 stock. So we ended up, making a bit of a triangle shape, kind of a flat top here and some higher lows, or you could draw some lower highs and higher lows. This is more or less relative highs here, and this one's a little bit higher. So we're really just kind of, indecisive. Once we get this big move, the rest is just retracing that and then just kind of gets a little indecisive. And so on the daily, we're really just straddling right here in this area. We've got some nice bullishness coming in. It looks like this is a really nice S curve, should continue. If earnings wasn't here, should continue, or with earnings here, we can gap up. It's a bullish candle. We'll fade some, we'll retrace some, depending on where we open up in here. But if we gap down, we've got a lot of people buying up here. I mean, there's a lot of volume today. And I think there's a lot more volume today than there were the last earnings. The last time there was, the day of earnings. So there was 5.2 million shares traded today. And the last time we had earnings, there was 4.1 million shares. So a lot more shares traded today. And it's a bullish candle. So it seems like there's a lot more people buying. That's just what it looks like. So we've got this downtrend that we've been keeping an eye on here, and we're right at the upper edge of this, and we got earnings. Last time we had earnings, we were way up here. We didn't even know this channel was anything. We just drew that recently. So anyway, let's wrap up on the day. So you get the stair step here. You can be buying down in here or waiting to 9:30. And so let's look at the calls right at 9:30. So I'm just showing yesterday's calls just to give some context. And then if we look at 9:30, we're right here. So the option price didn't really change too much through all of that, through even the open and rally and pullback and S curve. And here we are, 9:30. You can still get in at 750, or you can get in at, you can do 8x7. It still is a good setup. I mean, same setup as you would have had over here, but you didn't get stopped out when it pulled back to 7 again, like it opened up at 7 or a little above 7. Where we were, contending with the pivot here yesterday, we're way above that just because there's still a lot of premium in the gap up, the small gap up, the move here. And then that just disappears over the next half hour, and we're way down here, really close to the apex level of where we had closed yesterday. And then it starts to just grind up. And getting in, I mean, even though 9:30 was a bearish candle here, it was a bullish candle on the options. Let's say you didn't even get in on that candle, you got on the next one. You're in 8x7. Great. It just runs up. I mean, it goes from 8 to 10. That's 2R. That's easy. I mean, not easy, but all you had to do is write it up to 2R, and that's the right move. You didn't have to worry about it reversing. I mean, you just set it and forget it, and it just ran. Doesn't always work that way. It'd be great if you can always, find the trade that's going to give you the 2R, but it will work nicely here. Like I said, when we got up here, we got some high wave candles. It feels like we're extended, especially before earnings. It really shouldn't be breaking out like this. We shouldn't be up here. That idea. Okay, so let's look at this candle. So 11 o'clock. Let's look at the puts. So again, context from yesterday. We pull back even more. Just this straight shot down. It actually looks like it's starting to curve down a little bit, just losing that value. And then we get this stair step in here, and right at 11 o'clock, it's starting to break out, but it's barely moving. I mean, it is a little bit higher than this. What's really incredible is that you could have really set up 6 by 5 in here, not even gotten into the next candle, and that ran up, and it gave you another opportunity at $6 over here at this pullback. So whenever you feel like you're in a hurry, oh, I'm going to miss it. I missed the entry. And it ran like this. Okay, just wait a little bit. There's a lot of bearish candles in there. There's some strange things going on. Maybe it'll bounce a little bit. It bounced. It came right back into the same price you could have gotten up here. It gave you that price a little bit lower, a little better place. You don't have to wait through all that retracement. And you actually got a better move from here to here, because this one went from 6 to 8. Made a 2-hour move here. Again, you could have just had this up. This one going from 6 to 8 didn't work. You would have had to been in on this candle, getting in at 550 and getting out at 750. 752 was high. Don't know if you would have been out at 750. And then wait through the retracement. It's like, okay, just set it at where the price you want and just wait for it. And as long as you get the right setup, 6 by 5 here looks like a good setup. A little tight on the stop, but if it's going to do this and then starts to pull back, and you're watching it pull back, it's like, okay, maybe it'll pull back a little more. Let me do 6 by 5 and just, it'll get in there, and then you'll be scared that, okay, pull back a little bit below 6 and 6 or 585 here, but no, it just continues on up. So we're really sideways into the close. We rallied a little bit into the close on the calls, sideways into the close on the puts, and really we're pretty sideways in here. Okay, so that's what you could have done during the day on these candles. Oh, let's look at this candle. What was this one? 11:15, buying at 11:15. That was right here. That would have been a nice scalp. Just snag an R on that kind of move. It looks more bearish. To have this kind of move, it looks more bearish. It's like, okay, I can scalp that back up. I'll get in on the next candle, 11:20. Ride that back up. Yeah, I can get in on this candle. I got my entry 9 by 8, something like that. I'll get out at 10, and it works. And up here you flip, and so you rode this with the, or maybe you didn't ride this. Maybe you were in this move from 8 to 10, and then you got in over here. It's like, okay, I didn't get filled at 8. I mean, could have, but probably didn't. And then here, you're getting in at 9, going to go up to 10 again. You just went 8 to 10, maybe you can go 9 to 10. Great. That worked. Okay, this looks a little more bearish. Let me get in bearish. Get in at 6, get out at 8. You're over here. What's it doing? It just ran right into this level. Kind of retracing that. Let's go back and look at the calls. Oh, we're right back here. Let me do 9 to 10 again. And you just scalp, and you can go back and forth. And I mean, I'm not that good to do that. If you can do that, that's great. I can see it now, and I've got to get the right plan in place and the right, just kind of the right mindset that, hey, these things are just going to, jog back and forth. They're going to zigzag. They're going to show these candles. They're going to, like, this is a really nice hammer to be buying off of. This is a really nice stair step, just indecisive that plummets, just comes back down like $15, retraces back up like $11, and then rolls over again. It's almost like too easy to see the setup. It's just getting the right trade, getting the right options. That's where the challenge is. So again, I'm looking at the 1850 calls and I'm looking at the 1700 puts. I'm that far away. Well, let's talk about the earnings, because we're going to need to be even further away. We dropped out of the sky here. Came rushing down to our line that we've had in here, 1754, put in a low at 1618. So we're about 50 cents away from this hitting our line. We retrace back up right into 1665, 27. And that's where we're sitting just below right here. Really nice. I mean, a great drop and then a really nice retracement. Good levels that we're into. If we look at a daily and we just kind of think about where we're at, we are way down here, below this low, below these lows. We're way down here. I have to actually zoom out to really look at where this is at. So the last time we were down in this price range was this. It was this whole area down here, this consolidation down here, over here, back in January, February, and then into March, it started to rally from there. So we're in this really large distribution. I mean, let me zoom out again. You know, you draw a bigger distribution here. You got similar highs up here. It looks like we've got some lows that are, you know, going to come in tomorrow that are going to bring us right back into this level. I don't know if our lows are going to go lower. This was a really good area of support. It built a really large area of support, and that's really the best thing it's got going for it right now, because for support, for it to just hang out here. But we're trapping bulls. We're trapping a lot of bulls right here. The last few days here, we're trapping all the bulls from all of this and back to here. This is the bearishness that I was talking about that I thought was going to come in over here, and I was actually kind of surprised we bounced. And I even said this day, it's like, we shouldn't be up here. We shouldn't be taking out this high. Sorry, let me zoom in again a little further out. Up here, it seemed too high. It's like we shouldn't be up here, but we need a little more retracement. I just didn't expect it to come all the way down here and look like it's going to open below 1665. So there's, you know, a chance that we could fade a bit, come back up into the low. Even I wouldn't be surprised if we had some sort of rally back up to 1700 or 1450. And then from there, you know, we'd be retesting old support as new resistance and roll over from there. That would actually be really, really fitting to this being a really massive head and shoulders. And I was thinking about this whole pattern, the head and shoulders pattern, some more today, with seeing where the options or seeing where earnings was. And if you draw this out, let's see, did I do the timing right? This is early June. This is early August. This is, no, I didn't do the timing right. This is early March. I was looking at something, the timing and this kind of thing in here. It's like every 2 to 3 months, it was back down. It was back down to like this range. I guess it wasn't every 2 months. It was, well, I guess it was kind of here. Okay, let me draw it again, because I was just trying to figure out, okay, what we've been in this range, like where we're at today, 1775. Okay, this range. Let's focus on that. We're there here. This was, I'm going to call this early April. We're here again. I'm going to call this early June. We're here again early August. And then we're here again really early October. And then here we are late October, still here. And we've been here. And so there's been a lot of times, like it was every 2 months like this. And then we had every month, essentially. We've been in this zone. How long do you think it'll be before, if we gap down here and open down here, how long do you think it'll be before we're back up here? I'm thinking 2 months, maybe 1 month, which is kind of crazy to think about. So, I mean, there's holidays ahead, November, December, you know, with Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. And so, I mean, what if we're back up? What if we're back up in the 1775 range? You know, what if we're back up in this range in 2 months? So wherever we go down here, I mean, what I just drew here I mean, I don't know that it's going to totally collapse. I mean, it's not going to zero, but it could come down easily to this same level, low 1600 and the high 1500s could totally come back there. People are going to see this and do the measured move. Okay, you know, let's call that 2000. Let's call this, you know, let's call this 1700. You know, 1750. You know, that's a $250 move. You know, if you just do a measured move like this to this, that's 250. I get the right numbers. Hey, there you go, 250. 250 below this is 1500. I don't even have it on the chart. Clear all that out. Okay, where's 1500? What was the last time we were down at 1500? That was back here. We put in some nice base down here. I mean, this downtrend. And I don't think we're going to go straight there if we do go there to 1500. But I mean, that's a possibility, just seeing that we've got this head and shoulders with a really wonky right shoulder. And whenever I've seen these, including the inverted one here, something big happens. So it could totally do that. But it's just really interesting that every 2 months, and then more often lately, we were in the same range. We're in the same no man's land. Over here, we were in this range October of last year. And then it took till March, April timeframe. So that was 5 months when it got below. If we do go below like that, I'm saying like 2 months, it could be longer. If we do something bigger like this and take a while to get back up, just seems like we've been in this range for so long. This kind of thing would have to really scare people to get out. That something else is going on. I don't know what that would be. Something else economically. I don't know. But the potential is there to come down further. If you look at, let me see if I can draw this. Okay, I know. Let me draw in here. And again, this is just me spitballing. This is just my thoughts today seeing this. We had a quick move. Man, you can't even see that line. Okay. I drew a line here. See, there it is. The line that I just drew down to this first low that we made. This one was sort of earnings related, but I mean, we're ahead of earnings. I drew it from the range we're at today. So like 1770s. If we take this line over here, it actually lines up pretty well with this downtrend. Same downtrend that we didn't know was here then, that we drew this after it made some of the moves here. And then we can expand this out and see, okay, we started up here and we had some bullishness, and then we broke down quickly and we were right back up in that same, back up to the same area just weeks later, like a month later, right? October 22nd, November 8th. So weeks later, we were back up there, and then we rolled back down again. That's what I'm saying. If we do something like that again now, I can't even see it on the chart. Let me see if I can remember how to move this. Nope, that's not working. I haven't had to move this chart like this in a while. Oh, that's what I can do. Let me do that. I want to do like this. It's not working. I haven't had to move the chart like this in a while. That's that. Okay, there we go. I got on the chart. Not exactly what I was trying to do, but it worked. Okay, what if from right here today, we do plummet down here quickly? I'm still saying, what if we come right back up? That's a massive V bottom. We've done that here. We did it all these other times. Oops. All these other times back here, a ton of V bottoms in a row. Every month or so, we were back. 1, 2, 3 times in about a couple weeks or a month's time, we were back up in that same area. There's a lot of volatility. We could set up and do something like that. We could come down here, beginning of November, come right back up to low 1700s. I'm not saying back to the same level necessarily, but low 1700s by mid-November, maybe by November expiration, something like that. So I'm just going to leave this on here for now and see what kind of move we start to have. I mean, we should start around 1665 at open tomorrow. If we get any sort of buying, get ready for a rollover. Get ready for that to be the S curve and get in bearish. But if we have a quick move down, I mean, we've got some lines down here. We got some framework that could still come back into play. And we haven't seen this. We haven't seen this downtrend line in play in a while. So I'm still under the assumption that the framework is here. We haven't had to rely on these lines in a while. The last time we did was really seeing this stair step here. And from here, we've really just been sideways for so long. And it looks very similar to this, which was coming out of all of this. So if we were doing one of these and we head into one of these, it makes sense. If we've been doing this sort of consolidation, and then we're going to head into a bigger sort of distribution. So here's our bigger accumulation, or what am I trying to say? We're going sideways, like this, sideways to down slightly. We were doing it here. We were going sideways for so long. When we did it here, we were coming out of this bigger, V bottoms. What if we're about to head into some V bottoms? What if we do some sort of book ending? Like this is a head and shoulders. We have some bookends here. I don't know. Again, I'm speculating what could happen, but that's the framework I'm thinking. If we go down, great. Let's play some puts and see what happens, and just mitigate risk. If we start to bounce at some of these levels, great. Any of these could be a new support or another old support, but we don't know which ones. So anyway, that's some of my thoughts. I'm really curious to see too if this channel that we've just had on here recently, if that provides any sort of support around 1650. I'm going to extend this. Oh, I didn't mean to turn it off. Let's extend to the right. And let's just see if tomorrow around 1650 comes in as a support. And then it may help this channel be intact a bit. Maybe a bounce from 1650 up to 1665 and then a massive rollover. It could make a nice small candle. It could do something like, where are these earning gaps down? Let's see. What if it does a candle like this? Smaller candle, gap down, smaller candle. We're definitely tracking people. That's where I'm thinking it's going to move bigger. I'm somewhat thinking of a bigger candle like one of these. Could go really high wave. One of these where this started to break out, this gaps down, and then we still go sideways at that same level. I mean, we could do that. We could just go sideways down here and see what happens. I mean, it could go sideways down here for a while, make like an iron reversal, gap up, and just run. That'd be a pretty amazing island reversal. We haven't had something quite like that. We had a sort of island reversal up here until we got back into the lows. But yeah, really just going to have to wait and see and really wait for these options to lose a lot of value. I'll obviously have to change up which options I'm looking at. 1850 will be worth nothing. 1700 will be worth, depending on where we open, it'll be worth, like $40. So, that's $4,000 per contract. So, should be more than that even. So I'm going to have to go out to probably 1650 on the puts, 1625 on the puts, 1700 on the calls, maybe 1675 on the calls. We'll just have to wait and see kind of where those play out. But those are the kind of main four options that I'd be thinking about looking at, just to get a baseline of where Amazon's moving, and yeah, see what kind of move we have in the morning. But this is a really nice S curve. Would not be surprised if we continue down. I would prefer some buying to come in and trap more people when it rolls over. So 3 minute, 5 minute, possibly even the 1 minute. But just make sure you're waiting for that premium to erode, and it'll help when it's moving in your direction. Just like we were looking at the options today, even having this move, having this move go in your favor, retraced, give you the same entry here as you got here. So if you see that you missed something today, you thought, oh, I should have gotten into that bearish move. Okay, well, I could have gotten in here, but I'm at that, I could have gotten in here at 6. Now I'm back at that same price 6. Is it still look like the same setup? Is it better? It doesn't have to retrace as far, but it's a rollover in an S curve. So what can we wait for tomorrow to see something like this? A rollover, and it's going to bounce, and then a rollover again, and this retracement, this buying won't be there then. I'm sorry, the buying will be there. We won't have to wait through it on a bearish trade, waiting for it to just roll over again. No, just get in over here, take your profit when you got in here to here, and then get in again here to here. And so, pick a direction, go with that direction, or be ready to be nimble and play at both directions. And hope this helps for what you're looking at for tomorrow. But I really, depending on where it exactly opens, if we're above 1665, it'd be nice to see it fade and go up some more. If we're below 1665, get ready for some bullish candle into 1665 to just break down. That resistance would hold, and for it to roll over, and be getting in as it's rolling over there. So those are kind of the two directions, and I don't know which one it's going to go. So be ready with your plan, and we'll be back soon with a look on how things play out on Friday. So hope this helps. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.